So in this video, I'm going to go over my sketchbooks and give you some insights, things that I've learned throughout the year. I hope you get some value out of it. I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, let us get into it. I'm going to start us off with my first sketchbook from this year. And yeah, this was the very first picture I drew after returning back into this thing, and this was the best I could do. Already I'm seeing how much my line work could have been improved, but the most important thing was starting, right? So here you have it, what awaits us this year. Have your way, Lord. And I believe the Lord has guided me to the best teachers, the best information, tools, and tips that have really helped my art to evolve. So this was from the first course that I took this year, which is available for free on YouTube, playlist by Mike Markowski Art. This is YouTube, and we were just doing certain exercises which were pretty cool. Like I drew this upside down, for example. And yeah, in as much as I felt like I knew how to draw, because that's what I'd heard basically my entire life. You're good at drawing. In as much as that was the case, and I did feel like I approached this as if I knew nothing, and just drawing shapes like I've never drawn shapes before, and actually came to discover that a lot of things were lacking, such as perspective. You can see that the pencil top and the bottom, it doesn't look right. I didn't know what to do with this shape, and either way I just kept doing it. Warm-ups. And this is a Brazilian joke. I live in Brazil, and when people say, like, they can speak English jokingly, they'll say the book is on the table. Like, how's my English? And so I drew a book and said that it's not on the table, practicing shapes in perspective. Then yeah, warm-ups. I used to do it this way. Now I follow streams of consciousness. I'm a student of Patrick Jones, so I like it that way as well, because you end up sketching something and it ends up becoming an idea. This is messing around with values, shading. At the different values. I had never done this before. I'd never had to go through this bit by bit. Here I just drew over my hand, I believe, like that, and then kind of shaded. You can see my boy was shy. Didn't want to get too dark, and I also held the pencil completely different to how I hold it now, with the signature grip. And this is just as an example. I draw like this, which there's nothing wrong with, but now I draw with the gesture hand, and it's much better. For detail, the signature hand is good though. So yeah, these were, gradual improvements, baby steps. This spoon, I'll never forget this spoon, and this alcohol bottle for cleaning, and a sharpener. I really did not like this spoon. I didn't like any of them, but I did the stuff, I was practicing. That's the most important thing. This is a table that a TV is to sit on in the lounge. Gamepad controller. Gamepad box. Is that what you call it? Box? A box for the thing? Or case? I don't know. It's my phone, eraser. So it's by my workstation. Yeah, this is a kind of a joke here in Brazil because of the rise in prices and stuff like that. This was my hand. Uh, Perspective, stuff I had done in high school, but this was a refresher. I'm more confident. I feel more willing to go through it. And then here I tried drawing like houses, trying to make it look all detailed. And one thing I can say for a fact that I needed to understand earlier on is I didn't have to rush to make something look this detailed, right? Because there's still so much that's lacking in how the shading and the values work, the sky as well. Things just don't look right. I'm glad I took that step though. But if I were to do it completely differently, there's a lot I changed that seems unimpressive, but actually makes the biggest difference when it comes to your art. I think a part of why I would try and do things like this was number one, just to see if I was starting to understand, but I think I was too focused on trying to impress with my art rather than just be knowledgeable about what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong with sharing your wins and your achievements, but if the purpose is to be admired, then it's gonna hurt your art progress because you won't focus on the thing that matters the most that'll get your art skills to eventually be admired. Because it's not even the point of why we do what we do. Shouldn't be. Here we have, simplifying with shapes. And simplification is the best way to draw anything. Even the drawings that I have today, I founded upon the same principles. Drawing the human anatomy, which is so complex. Here I'll never forget the mistake I made, which was outlining the grass blades too dark, and then it didn't look like a background thing, and the dark now no longer took attention. I would have made this a bit lighter. I was trying to make him stand out by being bright, but I'm seeing that it didn't work out the way that I had wanted, but this is all in hindsight, not in the moment. I like this picture as well. It was just a dog's head, and then I looked for like a tux thing and did that. And these took long, bro. Sorry, bro. I say bro to everyone. I call my daughter bro. Um, Definitely over an hour. And like the work I've done recently looks 10 times better, which I'll probably put up on the screen. So then we're going through 5-minute drawings, 15 minutes. This was cool. It was good to have that experience. I definitely don't lean towards quick sketches in terms of like timing yourself, especially when you're starting out or coming back, wherever you are in your art skills. I would prioritize understanding, and so going as slow as you need to. The key to fast is slow, as my instructor has taught me. And so I would encourage the same. And over time, you become faster. So it's only a matter of time. It's like when you tie your shoe for the first time as a child, and now you don't even think about it. So these are Jim Lee drawings that I drew. I didn't understand why I couldn't get it to look like his. Now, some of the things which are wrong are just like the proportions with the shoulders and stuff. That's because I didn't understand the anatomy too well. But with simplifying with basic shapes, it did help. Like I'm seeing how the bat signal is a bit skewed on his chest. It's not sitting properly. So I would change some things, made it wider as well. I wasn't used to drawing wide bodies. Jim Lee learned from Bridgman as well in terms of figure drawing. So that was an influence in how he designs his characters, even like Superman, as I've learned and discovered. And that made me realize that I actually don't draw my characters like with broad shoulders, like really wide, more thin, skinny, and probably because of drawing Spider-Man in my youth. So it's using the grid. It's pretty cool. I don't care to use it today, but if it helps it in this, uh, yeah, let's try to draw from imagination. So no reference. I just didn't know how to place the legs. To be honest, I don't even know how I'd place them now, but I know it would look a lot more anatomically correct. Here, the bend, it's just the way his body's sitting that just, it doesn't look right. And I can see that now looking back. Yeah, this was like light sketching, as you can see, loose. And then we have this German Shepherd photo reference from the internet, same as this one. And another just 10-minute drawing, 5 minute, 5 minute. Was using I don't think I have it anymore. But it was like some technique that people used to use back in the day, kind of like to make a frame to focus it on whatever they wanted to draw. So it was a little thing like made with paper, and yeah, just kind of put it on my foot. I don't remember what this is. My phone, and then eraser that I have. And this was following the class. And here we were getting into the male figure, and this is just me following, right? It's crazy because look at this. I'm the same guy who drew this and just like, but I went through this again like I have no knowledge, because truly I wouldn't be able to draw this schematic for you way back when I started, like to teach anybody, right? So did it again, it was better. Did the side view. There's so much that would look different now. Even this Superman drawing, look the fists. It's just a lot I would change. Also, yeah, when I was speaking about Jim Lee and how he got his pictures to look a certain way, it's because he was using ink and I was using graphite, and so I wasn't aware of these things, and now I am. I know that if I can erase a little bit and cover with ink, it can really look like what he did, as well as, if it's not white ink, is it Tipex? I don't know what it's called in other countries. Call it Tipex, the thing to basically cover mistakes written in ink. And it's white. Got line of action. Just finding the flow, finding the rhythm. I liked this one. So it doesn't look bad, but in terms of the muscles, in terms of where things were, I didn't know much about that. Then I went to the female anatomy, which was a very interesting experience for me, because I went back into drawing by the leading of the Lord, and we come across this. It's like, oh, by the way, that's true. I'm gonna have to do this, draw the female body and learn how to, whatever characters that I'm inspired to make, the stories that the Lord inspires me to tell. Even from my favorite um, directors, story writers, and this experience has really renewed my mind, because it helped me to understand that God created both the male and female body. And this is in reference to like drawing nude models as well, which I have both male and female. And I do not believe there's anything sinful about the human body in and of itself. You're looking in the scriptures, you see that when God made it, just like He made everything else, He saw that it was good. And my prayer in this transition, because I grew up being exposed to women in an objectifying way, I was exposed to pornography and the things that follow that, just not to get too explicit on YouTube. But yeah, it definitely affected the way that I would view women. And I got delivered from that, when I encountered Jesus. The thing is, it's a process, and having to pray to God to see His creation the way He does has been so powerful for me and has sanctified, or rather made me have a healthy relationship with the human body, and fascinated as well, where I'm more focused on what makes it admirable rather than how it would please me, in a sexual way, which is so selfish, and life is so much bigger than us. It's a dog of a colleague of mine, which I asked to draw just to get some experience. Another Ghibli ref, blocking technique. So yeah, this was, there it is. The thing I was talking about, the viewfinder. I wrote, okay, nice. Yeah, I've become a lot more comfortable drawing women, drawing men, and it's just been cool to see how these techniques work. This was for my first long form video on my channel. Used to call it Nzaba Makes Art, now it's just under my name. And this was a Todd McFarlane drawing of Spider-Man. I wanted to end the last 2 pages in reference to how I started it off, some samurai type stuff and Spider-Man. So this is how it was. I still like this drawing. I'm sure I could have changed some things, and I can see how my lines could have been a bit stronger, more confidence, boldness. Now let's get the other one. And as this is happening, mind you, let's give this more space. As I'm drawing all this stuff, sorry, I'm still following that course, and so I dedicated time into doing it until I was done. Until I was done with it. Pictures are gonna look a bit odd at this angle, but it's just to try and get everything in frame. Now this one I want to do again in ink, because again, with pencil, you just, well, graphite at least, you can't get it to look a certain way. I bought some, actually. I haven't used them yet. If you'd like to see me go over that, let me know, but I'll do it anyways. In terms of like on or off camera. But yeah, this was also another Jim Lee drawing. Jim Lee was one of those artists, comic book artists, that I liked his style, not even knowing that it was him who did it. When I researched, it was one of like the tasks or the homework we had, just finding an artist you admire and drawing as they draw. I know some people find that icky, but there's no other way to get better at drawing and discovering your own style than learning someone else's. So here I try to make my forms look a bit better. I think the teacher did as well. But yeah, like just even the ability to simplify like this, you can tell like it wasn't easy for me. But I kept doing it. We have Jack Jack. I like this drawing. I think it came out well. Could probably look stronger if I were to redo it, but glad I did it. I didn't really want to do this drawing. Then I tried doing it again, and you can just see so many things go wrong, like the legs and the. But again, I would say still try. Like, this is a sketchbook. That's what it's for. This is not a portfolio book. This is just me putting the hours in, and gaining experience. Then an old woman, the shawl and a walking stick, a Van Gogh reference, which I thought was cool. This is how I was slowly getting better. Like, I wanted to finish these drawings, all of them, do different pictures. And yet, this is the best way to just keep practicing, is just to find a simple way of doing it. Sorry. That's worth doing, more than the detail and stuff. Try the face. I believe it's the Loomis method. Then we did one of someone else's drawing. It was cool. Then this was the first attempt at drawing my wife. She's a lot more beautiful looking than this. I thank her for trusting me to even try such a thing. But put it up on the video now. Recent one I did for her birthday. I really like the way it came out, and I've been learning to draw its style. Speaking of, look at these eyes. But again, look, I'm looking at the line work and just the lack of confidence. It's a lot of like what they call chicken scratchy lines. A lot of scratchy lines, and yeah, I mean, there's no way you can get to where you want to be without passing through this. And even though my lines lacked confidence, I was getting better. Like, slowly but surely, I was starting to understand things. I was starting to notice certain things. Like the Superman drawing was way better than the first one. I believe this is Peanuts. Then we focused on the nose. Then we did the eyes eventually. Took a picture of my own, of course. My nose is a little longer than that, like that. It's like this is a bit too flat. I would stretch it out a bit more. Then this was a Spider-Man riff. I was experimenting with the type of videos I wanted to produce on my YouTube channel. I prefer teaching. These are my lips. Rather than the short form, I like watching long form, and I like producing long form. These are my lips. I believe this is a Van Gogh warm-up. And the ears, found a way to draw them in a way that's easier to remember than how I learned to do it. And to be fair, I didn't really go over it much. And that's also, sorry, my goodness, thing is twisting. That's also one thing that I would change or do more of, like repetition more than variation. Part of me wanted to just get the course over and done with, but it harmed my progress in the end. Well, not in the end, it's not the end, I'm growing. Jared and I did my own soft portrait with my eyes are not in place. There's so much wrong with this one. I believe I didn't redo it yet. But I did a 3/4 eventually, which you'll see. And I had to do the side profile, which I did. I thought it was better, but I could make a better looking one now, for sure. But all of this stuff, was worth doing. because then you get to see when you look back where you had it wrong, and even in the moment, if you take the time to like see what it is you're not doing right, like even here isn't the way I wanted it to look, and to these nostalgic references, I'll show you what I mean. There it is. Yeah, the three-quarter view. Again, at this time, it was like, wow, amazing drawing, but like, you have no idea how many times I was erasing here to get the nose, like, right, the nose bridge, because I was struggling with that part. And still, when I look at it now, I was like, well, actually, then I was like, oh, so much better. The lips could have been improved, but head as well. It's not like it's supposed to be one for one, but it's some things that I would have changed a little bit forward to draw it again. Line work as well is a bit I'm glad I kept going. And then we did a caricature as well. Thought that was cool. And then yeah, we're creating a character. I believe this was character design. You know, a ham inspired thing. This was my daughter's toy. And Bushbuck, that was my version of it. And this was my second portrait of my wife. And when I looked at it today, earlier on, after drawing the newer version, I was like, oh my gosh, because I really thought this was good. Like, this was the best that I could do then. And yet, there's no limit to how much better you can become, but always know you can get better. This was supposed to be a turnaround. I didn't want to do the back, and I didn't have space for it. Drawing the hands, this was cool. Hands are a tricky one, apparently, but you can make it easy. You can see that those things, let me tell you, if you are starting out in art, like prioritizing, cherish, simplifying, like, it's not a waste of your time. It's not a waste of your time at all. It will help you so much in drawing a decent hand, at least, you know, and even better ones as you continue to enhance your skills. Drawing in perspective, foreshortening, you know. Then we drew a cantaloupe in preparation to draw the feet. I remember this. I like this foot. These are not my feet. This is Mike Markowski's feet. Thank you for the references. Cantaloupe again. Then shoes. So this was cool. Even clothes. You know, just having an idea. Then this was like character design for a YouTube video that I eventually didn't release because I didn't want to make entertainment type of content. I wanted to make education type of content. Like I said, I like teaching. That interests me more. Helping people actually become the best artists that they can be and discover their full potential. It's just different age. Then younger, you notice like forehead is bigger, and even where the eyes sit with the ears. It's those little things that we were being shown, that I was being shown. And then this is my daughter. This is hers, which again took super, super long. It's not bad, but like there's some areas where I think I could have used a stump, you know, just to like smooth out the shading, because it's not like I was hatching. If I was hatching, it's fine. And so many other things, but I'll try it again. Yeah, this is a transformer I ended up drawing. Original transformer. I believe that's Smithers, right? No, that's not Smithers, right? I don't remember. And then we're drawing older people, like how people's faces change when they age. Then we drew Queen Elizabeth, and this Transformers photo as well. Took a while. I don't think it took too long, but right, I was working with the skill set I had and making the most of it. That shiny ball is cool. And then fashion. I've never seen a drawing class for like how to draw clothes. And I don't know if one should exist, but if you do know of one, I'd appreciate it just because I want to understand fabric, lining, and linen, sorry, and how it sits on the body, just so as to like really give off the look that I want and not have good looking bodies, faces, but the clothing is off, you know? And then we were wrapping up the course here. Just like quick sketches, 5-minute drawings. This was a moving one, but it's good. Like, you know, live drawing classes. I've only done from videos. I'd like to attend one in person as well, live drawing. But this was fun. I did enjoy doing it, this like, as a first time thing. But I wouldn't pressure myself if I were you into getting something amazing out of it. Right. So there is a place for it, but if you don't even know like A to B, don't worry about it. And this was silhouettes, I guess, for plants. Oh, I bought four sketchbooks, and they're almost finished. Well, this one is just missing the first 2 pages. And then I was like creating content and not taking the time to actually understand what I was doing first before sharing it with people. And so that's the thing, I was also rushing to teach people instead of just documenting my progress, which would have been a lot more valuable, I believe, looking back, than when I get good at this, do this. I was like, bro, do you even know how to do it? You know? But some of these were fun. I did enjoy. This is blind drawing. That was almost a video as well. Cancelled it. Hands and yeah, some gesture drawing. It's using line of action. It's from some like propaganda, or rather an ad that I saw on my phone for like stretches and stuff. And we have Mr. Zuckerberg, my daughter's hand. And yeah, leaves. This was a wrap up of the course. We're drawing trees and understanding that you don't have to draw like each individual leaf. You can draw what looks to be a tree from a distance and people get the idea. Just about being intentional, and so that was cool. And then yeah, this was the first figure drawing course that a friend of mine gave me, recommended. It was an interesting experience. As you can see, so like 3-minute quick sketches, and there's definitely been a lot more improvement since then. It's my first time using like I think 6 or 8B, probably 6B graphite, drawing with this dark and all. However, it was cool. My wife. And then entered into female anatomy as well. So male as well. And yeah, it's been a journey, man. Um, it's good to look back. One thing I will say is I am definitely happy to be under the teacher I am by instructor Patrick Jones. Like I could go back to these and see what I could pull off in the same amount of time. Because again, I came from a detail focused mindset. I was starting to kind of get loose, but I still didn't really know how to drive the pencil. Some places I had more rhythm and flow, other places I didn't. And uh, the technique that I was learning from this person, personally, I didn't really connect with very well. It seemed a bit too technical. Not a bit, it seemed very technical, but there were some things I appreciated, like gravity and being conscious about those things. I definitely was, but I think the most important thing that I needed to learn um, was just simplifying drawing. This didn't really simplify things for me. This was like added knowledge on top of what I primarily needed to know first and foremost. And I also just prefer the style overall of my current instructor. And so yeah, the last one is here. I won't go through it all, it's a long video already. But I do have a few pictures where I was really trying to get like the rhythm and stuff, but like you can see the lines and look at that, bro. What body is that? There's no body that does this. But I couldn't see all these things, but I am now. So I'm glad. And yeah, just getting away from detail. And yeah, just getting away from detail to focus on what actually matters. Like there's no gesture in these things. It's crazy. It was not about how fast I was drawing, it was about understanding what I was doing and then taking it from there. And so yeah, a lot of these in this book primarily. Gesture, and yeah, I've just been working on that now. And yeah, I've just been working on that. This was that other figure drawing that I was still taking and wanting to understand, and I'm not gonna go into detail on it. But yeah, to each his own. I don't believe he's a bad artist, but I just didn't connect with his teaching method as well. But it is all good. Most important thing was drawing, and yeah, it all worked for my good because I didn't stop drawing, and that was the point, not to stop. And that's what we kept doing. We just kept practicing, taking more notes. So all of this is worth it. Don't throw away your old drawings or your bad drawings. Always look back and see how far you've come. I'm personally humbled and amazed at how much has been done in the matter of less than a year. You know, I'm really grateful to God for bringing me back to this passion of mine, and I'm really grateful to be sharing it. Now, this is me doing it with the new stuff I've been learning, and it came out so much better than before. Like how I was doing it, because the understanding has deepened. Right, it's so much better now, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And there's one on me. I'm still yet to finish this one, but that's basically my sketchbooks review. I also did a few. Here's like a bonus I'll leave you with. So I won't even get to like what I've been doing now with the chocolate paper. I mean the newsprint. We'll be here for too long. There were also some how to draw comics the Marvel way. At this point of like my practicing with drawing, I was like, nah, I want to learn more about drawing the human figure, and that's when I took fantasy figure drawing, wizardry by Patrick Jones, and it has changed the game for me. I would honestly, personally, refer anyone to like an online course or like a video, demonstration of the artist that you follow, because it's so helpful in like how they got to the picture that you might see in an art book, right? How did they get there? It's easy to overthink without the awareness, without the context, without just having had seen how it happens. But yeah, I desire someday to make comic books or graphic novels, whichever makes the most sense, but stories. I want to tell stories with my art, and so definitely be getting a comic book for me down the line, even as I continue to give y'all some insights and just continue to grow the art community, because there's so much potential for us to change the world, and the world needs art. The world needs your art. Don't feel like yours doesn't matter or that you don't have a voice. Even if you change one person's life, that's like a whole human being with feelings, with dreams, hopes, with a timeline, with a path that's going to impact other people as well, right? So don't think that your voice doesn't matter. Don't think that your gift doesn't matter. God gave you that gift to be used, and use it, man. Don't sleep on yourself. You're capable of doing more than you think. I'm not just like trying to motivate you, give you a pep talk. If I didn't believe that about myself, if I didn't have someone believe that about me, I wouldn't even believe it about myself. And so I wouldn't tell it to you if I didn't believe it about me, and if I didn't believe that about you. And so I hope you enjoyed that. Rest of my stuff is there at the bottom, the corner, if you can see. Not very well. Not very well there, but yeah, it's just more of this. I guess I'll show you the recent one I did, or you can call it. And yeah, I was working with this paper now and charcoal pencil. Completely different feel, completely new insights, and so grateful for it. Never stop investing in yourself. Never stop investing in yourself. Money does not matter as much as the insight you can gain if you use it in the right place. And you'll be glad, super glad when you look back one day for investing in your dreams and your gifts. Anyways, that's it from me, and this should be out before the year ends. I hope to see you in the year to come, and I hope that it is a blessed and prosperous year, better than this one, um, for you and your loved ones, just as I believe it will be for me. Excited to see what comes, excited to see the artist that you become, even as I continue on my path. So I hope to see you, even on that other side, as we continue to grow our skills and head to the place that we call mastery. Until then, take care, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care.